Hey guys, this is episode 6 of Wrestling with Vegetables. I am reality of wrestling superstar.
From Sydney, Australia, Rob Hall!
And today, I'm actually going to go through one of the meals that I meal prep every week. Give you guys an idea of the different kind of things you can do to try and keep your protein levels up while still having plant-based meals. But first, I actually had some results yesterday. I actually saw my nutritionist to see how I've been progressing on this new diet, on this new lifestyle. I did lose 2 pounds of fat, so that was a good thing. Unfortunately, I lost 2 pounds of muscle again. Yeah, Kevin, I know. I very easily could start freaking out, start eating meat again. I'm not going to give up that easily. What we did was we used the Fitness Pal app to break down what I was eating when I was eating meat products. As it turns out, I had done some sort of miscalculation the first time I did this, and I was actually having only 250 grams of protein on my plant-based diet, whereas before that I was having 350 grams of protein. 350 grams seems a little excessive for my size, but apparently that's what I was eating. So now in the fairness of science, I've got to try and gain that 350 grams of protein using just plant-based products. The good thing when we did the comparison was my total net carbs for both eating meat and not eating meat was about the same, so I don't need to make too many drastic changes there. But it does leave me with the question of how am I going to raise my protein without jacking up my carbs any more than they're already at? Well, thankfully I have a little bit of a solution to that. So last month I bought a 2-pound bag of unflavored pea protein that I'd been using in some of my sauces, bulk up the amount of protein that was in per meals. So now I'm just going to have to add a bit more than I was adding to these meals to try and jack up the protein and still keep it even out throughout the day. So to help me with this, I got a 45-pound bag of pea protein. Look at me, don't I look happy with that big old bag of protein? I got this from bulksupplements.com. I think it was about $115, which in the grand scheme of things, 45-pound bag of protein, it's not too bad. As for the meal that I'm going to be cooking today, it's a simple chili that I've been cooking for probably the past 6 or 7 years. I've had this chili in my diet pretty consistently with few changes here and there. I know when I first started having it, I actually had cheese in it. Then I had some Greek yogurt in it. I've had it with brown rice. I've had it with pasta. Just before switching to this plant-based lifestyle, the chili I was having was pretty basic. It had white rice, ground turkey, 99% lean, mixed in with a whole bunch of spices that I'm going to show you today. It had just like a little bit of broccoli and then smothered in like canned tomatoes and green chilies and salsa. I love this meal. Everyone who smelled this meal was jealous. I had plenty of people ask me, oh, what's that? Whenever I went down to my wrestling facility. It was a good meal. So when I decided to go plant-based, what I did was I took out the ground turkey, put in beefless crumbles, which I talked about last week. The problem with the beefless crumbles is they also had carbs, so then I had to substitute by taking out some of the sauce, but then it didn't taste so good. So then I decided to keep the sauce but take out some of the rice, but then it wasn't filling me up. So I decided I just want to take out these beefless crumbles, get rid of them, try and find protein a different way. And I went back to one of the first versions of the chili I had, which actually used to use a lot of black beans in it, and then there was a period of time where I had just cauliflower rice instead of white rice when I had this chili. So putting those ideas together, I slowly sort of formulated this concoction, which I've tried the last couple of weeks, and it's actually been really good. And today, I'm going to demonstrate cooking it, just for all of you. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting in about 20 ounces of broccoli. Now, I am making a big batch of this that's going to last me 6 days, so keep that in mind. I've got my little Ninja food processor, which is a lifesaver, saves me a lot of time. I just blend it up, make it real fine, so it kind of starts looking like little green pieces of rice. Now I get my big old pot, pour that in there. Repeat the process with some green beans, grind that up, throw it in the pot. And then I get some cauliflower. I just happen to have some cauliflower rice from Costco. So I just use those packages instead of grinding up my own cauliflower. But you could do the same thing with just a big old frozen packet of cauliflower. Add in half of a white onion. Add it to the pot. Okay, so this is the rice portion. I like calling it my faux rice. So you got cauliflower, you got white onion, you got broccoli, and you got green beans, all mixed up in a big pot. Put it on the stove, start warming it up. As you can see, it's a bit tough to stir initially. Obviously, as all the ingredients warm up, it's going to become quite a bit easier. Once I've mixed it up and it starts warming up, I throw in some celery salt. Throw in some cumin. Yeah, I like a fair bit of cumin in there. Throw in some paprika. I like a lot of paprika. And then chili powder. And of course, it's up to you how much chili powder you add in there, how spicy you want to make it. Stir up all the ingredients and we let that sit on the stove for just a little bit and let it grill. You can add like a little bit of water, but you don't want to add too much. You don't want to make it a stew or anything like that. You want it to actually like grill the vegetables. I got a picture of like the final product before I add anything else. As you can see, all the broccoli and green beans, the cauliflower, it's all starting to brown and really soak in all those spices that we put in there. Next up, I like to use Rotel canned tomatoes and green chilies. I'll throw in 2 cans of that. And then throw in a full cup of salsa. Get your spoon, mix all that up. And the next ingredient is nutritional yeast. All I do is get like a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. If you've never had nutritional yeast, it's got a bit of a cheesy flavor to it. And since adding this nutritional yeast to this chili, it's like made it 10 times better. So I definitely recommend throwing that in. Stir it up, let it sit. Throw a lid on top, let the sauce mix throughout all the faux rice. So meanwhile, while that's cooking, I didn't really film all this because it's pretty self-explanatory. I got 3 cans of black beans. I drained them in a strainer, washed some water over them. Then I separated them out evenly into 6 different tubs. I like to separate my beans out evenly. Then I brought out my unflavored pea protein and I put a scoop of that in each of the tubs along with the black beans. Then once the sauce was done, I poured it all into a big container and separated it out into each of the bowls pretty evenly. As you can see, I didn't worry about weighing it, I just kind of separated it out. Those containers are packed full of food, a lot of food. I'm eating more for that meal than I was, before I went plant-based. So more chance of it actually filling me up. I do have a picture of what it looks like once it's all stirred up. As you can see, the sauce itself becomes a lot thicker. It almost starts looking like refried beans. And that's just the pea protein that I've added in there. Really thickens up the sauce, makes it more of a paste than a sauce. If you don't like that, you can get a bigger container, add some water to it, and that will loosen up the sauce a bit more. But yeah, guys, that's it. 6 days of vegan chili. It's got about 50 grams of protein in each, about 40 grams of net carbs in each, very small amount of fat, and I can honestly say that I love eating this meal as much as I used to enjoy eating the meat version. And that's really saying something, because at the end of the day, the important thing is that you enjoy what you're eating, not just shoveling it down because you have to, which I've done a lot in my lifetime. So that is the episode. I hope you enjoyed me doing something new, showing you a recipe that I've been working on that I feel like I've kind of perfected. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you want to try something else with it. If you try this recipe and you have some suggestions of how to make it better, other than adding cheese to it, let me know. The comment section is down there for you to leave anything that you want to say to me about the episode, about my past episodes, about what I'm doing here. Comment section below. Make sure to leave one. Like and share this episode and hit the subscribe button so you can continue to see my journey of wrestling with vegetables. I am Rob Barnes, and I hope that this chili recipe helps you to eat smart.